Hey everybody, we have Mr. Rob Dukes of Generation Kill and Exodus today. How are you doing, Rob?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
You guys recently opened for Death Angel. How was the experience?
It was killer, man. It was a good show, man. We had a good time, and
Uh-huh.
everybody had fun. So
That's great. Now, your new album, We Are All Gonna Die, just hit the stores November 15th in Europe and 18th in UK. You sure have gotten tons of response recently from your friends and fans who have heard the album. What are some of the best responses and reactions you have received so far?
mostly it's been cool because most people were expecting just another Exodus clone, and the
Uh-huh.
fact that it wasn't, and there's like a lot of different aspects of music on it. As far as there's a lot more. Like the vocals are more laden with a lot of different styles rather than
Right.
just one thing. So people were really stoked about that. So that, and they were the drumming is great, the guitar playing, the songwriting. As an
Right.
overall album, people have been saying that the album's really really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that the vocals were really the biggest surprise because people didn't expect me to be doing what I was doing. So
Right, absolutely. So, because the approach that has come as a wonderful surprise to Generation Kill fans and many of Exodus fans as well is the variety of vocal styles that have come to hear in this album. So, as a musician, who is part of two great bands, how much important do you think this variety of vocals is, while creating a divide between your works at Generation Kill and Exodus?
well, Exodus is like pure thrash, and
Hmm.
I really get to exercise that really violent, aggressive vocal
Aggressive,
style in
right.
that. Whereas Generation Kill, even though it's been labeled a thrash band, it never really was. It was more of just I'd have to say, just like a traditional old school metal band. We really, I don't think we play pure thrash. I don't think we ever did. I think it just got labeled that. I think it got labeled kind of hardcore because of Rob's past, and
Right.
because we're from York and we don't have any hair because we all went bald. So, you know, uh, so I think it got labeled that way. But if you really listen to it, and if you open your mind and you open your ears, you're listening to a classic, a metal band of the early genres. Taking
Absolutely. It kind of reminds me of the early Judas Priest and Motorhead days.
Yeah, the early Maiden, early Judas Priest.
Right.
That was our major influences, and those are the bands that we really kind of modeled ourselves around. We wanted to be able to use mellow guitars, and really, if you listen to like early Maiden albums and early like Sad Wings of Destiny by Priest, you
Uh-huh.
can hear how that influenced in what we're doing, and we're proud of that. We're proud that we kind of just did what we wanted to do because really at the time. We didn't have a label, and we paid for the album ourselves with our own
Right.
money. So we really weren't making anybody happy but us. That's really what we were doing, and I'm really happy that it's getting the attention that it's getting. I really am. I'm really happy.
Wonderful. Now, you guys pulled out of your contract with Caesar of Mist, and like you said, you choose to finance the album on your own.
Yeah.
So, I remember you guys didn't do much press activities and also didn't tour much for your first album.
They were actually they treated us like assholes. They really didn't do anything for us. They just
Uh-huh.
So, I actually asked to leave. I got my lawyer involved and asked to get out of that contract, and we got out. And so we didn't have a label. So we left the label. We were on our own. And then, you know, like I said, we did the album with our own money. We got Zeus to produce it.
Wonderful.
And then we went on tour with
Uh-huh.
Heathen in Europe.
With such circumstances, what good and bad lessons, has this experience left for you?
I would really, for me, the experience was I'd rather have no label behind me
Uh-huh.
than a shitty one. Like, I'd rather just be left to my own device. Like, we were ready to just finance the record ourselves and put it out on ourselves and see what happens and tour and just do what we did. And it all worked out for the best in the end. But the truth was, I would have rather had nothing than to stick with the people that didn't believe in us and people that didn't believe in what we were capable of. And that's really
Right.
kind of what happened. So.
Now, that's wonderful. Now, this record must have come off as a challenge as you guys wanted the record to be different compared to your first album. So,
Yeah.
what all sorts of difficulties arose during the songwriting and recording process?
Well, we kind of wrote the songs together in a room, whereas the first album we did it, very separately. We recorded it 3 different sessions over a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Where this one was written in the room together, then rehearsed, and then reproduced, and then go ahead and we just went in and recorded the songs that we liked, and we wrote them. We wrote songs that we wanted to hear. That was basically what we said. We said let's write stuff that we want to hear, and our philosophy was let's not get boxed into a genre that is somebody's going to force us into.
Absolutely right.
Let's expand upon our own selves and see what we can come up with. And then also the other side of it too was let's play stuff that we wanted to stand alone. Mm-hmm. As far as I think a lot of the bands today kind of all sound the same. They all have that, they're going in a certain direction. And I was like, you know what, let's just do what we want to do. And
right.
And the end of it too was you got to look at it like this. We made the album with our own money, no label, no home. And I said to my guys, I said, listen, if nothing ever comes of this, if this album doesn't sell anything and no one picks it up, and you better be happy with what you have for yourself. So that's really what we did. So that made a big difference in the way we went approach in the recording process. So
amazing, man. Now, like you said, most of the bands stick to the same old routine of playing, balls or thrash metal. So, you might have come across a lot of new wave of thrash metal bands trying to rehash what has already been done in the past.
Yeah. Well, I thought we maybe rehashed it in a way that, at least we're staying true to ourselves. We're not trying to do it on purpose. We just, we modeled ourselves on the bands that shaped us as human beings. Like my first music that I ever loved on my own, outside of what my parents had given me or my brothers or sisters, the first music I ever found my own was early Judas Priest, early Iron Maiden, and that's kind of the way it is.
Wonderful. Now, when you folks, first sat down to write songs for this album, were all the songs concept based?
No, we just kind of wrote them, and ideas happened as they happened. I didn't have any preconceived ideas of anything until music was done, and then I would pick a direction I was going to going, and then I would focus on that song in itself. Nothing kind of went together. So
wonderful. Now, as a musician, when you look down the memory lane, do you ever feel you could have done some things differently or dealt with situations in a different manner?
I don't know, man. They always say hindsight's 20/20. I wish we had recorded the cover songs that we rehearsed and kind of play live and have fun with. I wish we recorded one for the album, but we didn't. We just made the album what it was. One cover song would have been cool. Maybe as a hidden track or something like that, or just another track.
Which cover did you guys do?
Charlotte the Harlot by Iron Maiden. That was one.
Wonderful.
Or National Acrobat by Black Sabbath.
Perfect.
We also do Disposable Heroes by Metallica.
So. Oh, wonderful. Now, what would you like to say to the fans who don't seem to accept Exodus the way it is today?
I don't know, man. I don't try to comment too much on it. It is what it is. People like what they like, and if they don't like it, what am I going to do? I seem to be playing shows, and people, have fun and have a good time. So if you don't like it, I guess, I don't know. I go listen to something else. I don't know. I get no comment.
Well, wonderful. Now, with Gary Holt filling in for Slayer and you giving a good amount of time to Generation Kill, I'm sure a lot of diehard Exodus fans out there are biting off their nails, waiting for the new record.
We're going in the studio in February. We have some, all summer planned out. So the fans are going to get exactly what they want. So, I'm just Generation Kill is basically going to happen when Exodus isn't doing anything. So when Exodus isn't touring, I'll be on the road with Generation Kill, and vice versa. So
great, that's wonderful. Now, all of our hearts are permanently scarred after Jeff Hanneman's death. What exactly, what change have you experienced in yourself ever since Jeff died?
Jeff was a cool guy. I met him a handful of times. He was very cool to me. We played with Slayer a couple years ago in France right before he got sick. And I hung out with him for a couple hours before and after the show. We went on right before them, and they were on the stage watching us. And, it was very cool and very surreal for me, especially to be on stage and having the entire band of Slayer on the side behind the monitors watching us and giving us thumbs up and cheering along and smiling and giving us, giving me the thumbs up for stuff and having a good time. And it was a very surreal experience. And Jeff got sick right after that. So I didn't see him again after that. So that was really the last time I saw him was in France at Hellfest. And it was a very, like I said, surreal experience and very sad that he's dead and no longer here to give us music that he's been giving us for so long. So, it's sad. It's one of those it's a life you wish, you didn't happen, but unfortunately did. And, so. So,
what do you do during your time off from music, or moreover, do you find time off from music?
I do, man. I actually I build hot rods. I have a custom hot rod shop in New York, and so I build muscle cars and do things of that nature. And I also I ride motorcycles a lot. And
well, your profile pic on Skype is all about motorcycles.
Yeah, I ride a lot of motorcycles. So I do. I ride a lot. I ride about 30 to 40,000 miles a year, if not more.
Wow.
I build cars and I ride motorcycles and I get tattooed and,
Wonderful. Now, are there any moments where you could, you think you could have excelled in any other profession?
I think I could have been a good auto mechanic. I eventually want to do that full time when I no longer do music. I'm going to fall back on and I'm going to be a car builder and a race car driver. That's my goal.
Wow.
I think if I hadn't done music, I think I would have been either a tattoo artist or something of that nature, something in a creative field. I was never a good office guy. I tried that. So.
Right. Wonderful. Now, do you have any plans of bringing, Exodus or Generation Kill to India?
I hope so, man. I would love to. If we could get hooked up with the right agent to bring us to India, man, I would go there in a fucking second.
Wonderful.
So love your food, love your people. So, I'm dying to go there.
Gary has come to India last year with Slayer. We're just waiting for Exodus or Generation Kill to come here.
I would love it, man. I hope so. I really do.
Rob, thanks a lot for spending some time with us. I guess you're heading back to studio for recording, huh?
Yeah, we're actually in Gibson Studios today recording. So that's where I am right now. I'm actually here. We're actually recording and doing stuff today, recording for a TV interview for Gibson.